The standoff soon spirals out of control, with officers evacuating the police station just after 10 p.m. local time as protesters entered the building. George Floyd's
Breonna Taylor
held him with a knee to the neck.
They shot her in March while serving a search warrant. There has been
Eric Garner got
Tamir Rice. That's the 12-year-old boy who was shot and killed by a Cleveland police officer.
Ask anyone who knew him. Ahmaud Arbery loved to run.
An ever-pressing issue that we are faced with in America today is the prevalence of systemic racism. The disproportionate killings of African Americans committed by police are a facet of the systems that are in place to contribute to systemic racism as a whole. We wanted to look at systemic racism through a police abusive power lens, and we settled down on the town of Summit to do so. In Summit, the police are 1,387% more likely to use force on a Black person versus someone who is white. And the police department also happens to receive $11 million, which is about 22% of the Summit General Fund, and the General Fund is $52 million, i.e. they are overfunded, whereas hospitals and the Board of Health receive less than 1% of that budget, which is about $450,000, and they are extremely underfunded.
We proposed allocating Summit's police funding into Summit's Board of Health, getting rid of police having to do jobs they are not trained for, such as helping a struggling addict, de-escalating enraged people, and/or a person completing suicide. These police officers, when needing to make impulsive decisions, often act on bias, whether implicit or explicit. Defunding public safety would allow for more job training, which means impulse control, and giving resources to the Public Health Board, creating easier resources for people in crisis to reach. Using Summit's general fund budget of $5 million, an elected representative such as the mayor, Nora Raddatz, can implement a general defunding of the police, changing the police's fund percentage from 22.2% of the general fund budget into around 18%, and putting the 3.1%, around $1 million, into Board of Health, making the Board of Health's allocated dollars around $1.5 million.
Generally speaking, reducing the police budget, firing officers, and reciting the protocol to limit implicit bias can reduce major crime rate, as it showed in the 2015 NYPD strike. There will be less proactive policing to divert finite resources to the attention of investigating these said units. This will reduce the major crime rate. With the alternate approach to protocol and training in public safety, they will be able to rebuild the community's trust in how they feel protected by police. Inconsistently in aggressive low-level policing across the community groups undermine police legitimacy, which erodes cooperation with law enforcement. In terms of Summit, with the Board of Health having a budget that has $1 million in growth coming from 3% of the budget, taking away from the police should not be an issue.
Police brutality and public safety's racial tensions with minorities are just the tip of the iceberg when discussing system inequalities. Racial inequalities are prevalent in jobs and law and politics, so we believe that the first step to fixing this bigotry is to educate ourselves and educate others. We propose that adding a Black history curriculum to schools, as well as diversifying staff and faculty, is extremely important and can help to break down some of this bigotry that is ingrained in our society from an early age. Education is extremely important and vital to understanding your own privileges, and it can help you to empathize with others.